Well, good evening. This is Rick Phillips for Campus Nation. We were originally scheduled to have an early broadcast because tonight we are honoring the championship teams from 2012 and 2022. But that has been moved to halftime, but we're going to continue with our broadcast, or at least we'll give you some pictures of warm-ups and that off the field, and we'll continue with that. Just stay tuned. We will start our broadcast at about quarter till, so we got about 15 minutes before we start the actual broadcast. Thanks.
At this time, let's welcome the Clinton-Massie marching band to the field. The band is led over the field by Senior Field Commander Connor Powers and Assistant Dave Rager. Join them as they play the Hay Song, the drum cheer, and the pipe song. Time we ask you please stand as the band plays the alma mater.
If I would have seen here, yeah, I would have seen it.
Good. See it.
Yep, I do see it. Yep, I got you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on another Friday night football game here at Clinton-Massie Local Schools, Frank Irelan Field. Exciting competition tonight. League play starts with the Goshen Warriors taking on the Clinton-Massie Falcons. Both teams at 1-4, looking for a kind of restart to the season, talking to a couple of coaches, a couple of the players. It's 0-0 at this point as far as the league play, so another set of the season has started. We're glad to have you with us tonight, and also glad to have filling in for our absent E.J. Lamb is our friend, our head basketball coach, Steve Graves.
Hey, thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. Love being back here. Looks like the leaves are starting to turn a little bit, folks. The chill is in the air. We got hoodies on tonight, jeans on. Football weather is here. League play starts. You couldn't ask for much more.
Absolutely. League play has started. We're excited about that. Now, Steve, I don't know if we're going to be able to replicate the last time that we were together.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be tough to
I mean,
match.
that's going to be that'd be a hard ask right there.
Yeah, I thought I was going to retire at the top.
Yeah, just leave on a high note.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, yeah, if you don't know, Steve Graves and I got to call the championship, the football championship game this past year when Clinton-Massie was able to win their third championship in the last 10 years, beating the Ursuline I don't even remember their mascot. So the Ursuline.
Maybe Fighting Irish, maybe?
Fighting Irish,
maybe,
that sounds right. So in a comeback fashion, the emotions of that game were unbelievable. We were up, and then we were down, and then we were up again, and then down, and then up again, and finished on a high note. So we'll see what we get out of tonight. I was able to talk to the coach. We'll share some of those notes here in just a second. But, Steve, having looked over kind of what Goshen's done so far this year, knowing what Massey has done this year, what kind of game are you looking for when we start here play in just about 10 minutes?
Oh, I'm looking for, both teams to come out and compete at a high level. Like we mentioned, they're both 0-0 again. A lot to play for. Goshen has a new coach this year, an ex-Clinton-Massie alum, Greg Miller's resigned, I think, and took over, an assistant AD job. Yep. So you got a new coach over there. Looks like they're about 50-50 as far as it goes run-pass. That's just by, for stats that I'm looking at. Mm-hmm. And for Clinton-Massie, I think you're going to get a young, hungry group here who knows, hey, we got to, they've won the league the last – I don't know, a certain amount of time.
Yeah, quite. They tied Goshen actually in 17.
They know they got something to defend.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think the kids know that. They're hungry about it. The coaching staff's fired up. They've been working really hard this year to trying to find that right ingredient to get things going. So it should be a good one tonight. The
right personnel mix is, I think, what they've looked for so far. So if you go back in league play all the way back to 2007, there's 2 league losses by Clinton-Massie, and that's in the SCOL and the SBAC. One of those is to Goshen in 2017.
Wow.
So
I did not know that.
Yeah, a little feather in their cap there. So that was a very successful year for that particular Goshen team, who everybody kind of knew that team was going to be special as they went through. And then, of course, Clinton-Massie loses that game. It kind of refocuses. Having talked to Trey Utrick that year, he said that was kind of what we needed to get our heads on straight, and then they end up in the state championship game losing to a pretty tough Steubenville team that particular
absolutely.
year.
Yes.
So all credit to Goshen to come back with a new head coach. Like you said, a couple notes on that head coach. I was able to talk to him. I have to send a shout-out to my alma mater. So Shane Elkin is a Finneytown grad, I am a Finneytown grad as well. He's an 89 grad. I'm a 95 grad. And then how about this, just for a little extra information, the head coach of Bishop Fenwick, Mark Mueller, also an 89 Finneytown grad. So you've got 2 head coaches that both graduated from Finneytown, the announcers from Finneytown. I mean, at this point, if you're from Finneytown, I'm expecting you to check in at some point tonight as we send the number out.
Yes.
So, yeah, we want to see from wherever you're at, we appreciate you checking in. At some point, we'll ask for shout-outs. That number is 937-303-8069. Again, 937-303-8069. Let us know right away where you're watching from, and we'll share those with you throughout the broadcast. So, again, Steve, just looking at some of the things that, maybe of concern, of note that people should know going into the game, what do you consider some keys to the game?
Oh, well, you're going to see tonight we have lost a few guys, that are going to be out tonight.
Injury.
All right, so injury and whatnot. So there's going to be some new personnel shaking out there. I think, I found out that we did not run one thing of option last week, midline, nothing.
right.
They totally scratched it.
Yep.
So maybe we get back to that a little bit tonight. I'm not real sure. I do have a note here. Adam Frisch will be starting at left tackle tonight.
Right.
Him and Tyler Tolson flip-flopped.
Yep.
So Tyler's going to be the left guard now, and Adam Frisch will be starting at left tackle for the first time in his career. So be kind of cool to check that out, see how, adjustment by coaches.
Yeah, it's
so.
definitely something that Coach Zantini talked about, and that's actually bringing back their younger days where Frisch was the left tackle and Tolson was your left guard. So they said, I actually talked to Tyler this week in the hallways. He said, I'm extremely comfortable. I like it. I'm fine there. And Frisch says, I just want to play. I don't really care where
That's
it is.
awesome.
I
That's
just
a great
I want to
attitude.
get after it. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So looking for that personnel grouping to maybe give them a little bit more punch on the from the offensive line.
Oh, yeah, and I think tonight you're Clinton-Massie. Get that fullback going right now. Brody Clutter has been doing a really good job of getting himself going right now. So establish that fullback early, then maybe hit some pitches and some tosses to get to the outside edge a little bit and try to use a little bit of our quickness. So
yeah, we're going to see I believe Brody Clutter in the fullback position. I did talk to Coach Zantini. We're going to see Gabe McDowell, and the freshman starts again, and that's Nolan Phipps.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, Nolan has come on pretty strong. I know I get a chance to chat with the coaches every morning, and they've talked really high about Nolan, stepping in there in some tough roles. I mean, it's a deer in headlights sometimes out there when you're a freshman or sophomore trying to play, varsity football. But we've had a lot of young guys to this point really step up to the challenge.
Yeah, Tristan Trampler would have to be
another
on that
one.
list
Absolutely,
as well.
you got to add him to the list. He's really shown really well. He can be a lockdown corner for us.
Absolutely, doing a great job. I actually talked to the coach and asked Coach Elkin. I was able to talk to him today. Do you see, the freshman on one side, the sophomore on the other? You're a team. You like to get the ball in the perimeter. Is that something that you're going to be aiming for? And he had a lot of respect for those outside contained guys and said, actually, no, not necessarily. We respect that Tristan Trampler, even as a freshman, is playing at a high level. Brady Russell on the other side playing at a high level. So they're just going to do what they do. And having talked to him, what they do is they're more of a spread, like you said, more of a balanced look, 2-by-2, 3-by-1. They do want to run the ball, though. The coach said, we throw the ball, and I like to throw the ball, but if I can just run it down your throat, I'm going to do that. And the number one person they're going to do that with is Gabe Cope.
Yes.
Gabe Cope. So Gabe Cope is one of their offensive starters listed at 5'9", 173. When I asked Coach about him, I said, give me a little idea about Gabe and what kind of kid he is. He said, strong, downhill runner, compact, what you would think of just a traditional running back, that kind of strong, smaller frame, quick, step. And he said if he gets in the open field, he can hit a home run.
Oh, wow. And that's something we got to make sure we eliminate tonight. We want to take away that big play threat for us. So if they got a guy that can do it, we need to be careful.
And next on the list would be Haley, their quarterback. That's I'm going to make sure I get his first name right here. That's Logan Haley.
Yep.
Logan Haley's a junior listed at 6'2", 192. He's been the leader on the offensive side, and I asked Coach a little bit about him. He said, he's gaining more production per game. So he's not the guy that's necessarily going to take the zone read and run it an 80-yard score, but he's managing the game well. He's understanding the game a little better, and they've had more production in the last couple games than they had the first couple games. And on that note, if you look at the points for and the points against, so Goshen is unfortunately last in points for in the league right now at 61 points, and actually followed number 2 by Massie with 68 points. But they've allowed 115, which is really just right there in the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
Where Massie has only allowed 89 points, second only to Wilmington. Wilmington has the least amount of points scored against them this year at 68, and then is right in the middle of the pack on points for. So, maybe Wilmington, seeing what they do tonight, because Wilmington has Batavia.
Yes.
And New Richmond has Western Brown.
Big game in the league right there tonight. I know we'll probably be giving updates as we can, as best we can here, hopefully. But, we got to take care of business here first.
Yep.
And I think we're getting close to get taken to the field. I'm getting excited here.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know me, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm a high energy guy. I'm ready to go.
As Coach Graves said, it's Friday night football. The nip in the air feels good up here, and we're excited about starting it. And as we look towards more information from the coaches, I said, hey, Coach, what did you feel about watching Massie on film? And, the first thing he said, I thought this was interesting, is he said, if anybody thinks that a 1-4 Clinton-Massie team is any good, and I want to quote him, you're an idiot.
Oh, I totally
because
agree.
he said the out-of-conference schedule, because of the 20 years of positive, attributes and records, nobody wants to play them. So he said that's why they have a tough out-of-league schedule. In fact, you were mentioning something about that.
I'm a social media guy out there on Twitter. This week I happened to find where a guy had tweeted out that we had the 6th toughest schedule through Week 5 in Division 4 in all of Ohio, and I thought, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Division 2, Division 2, Division 2, Division 3, and then a Waynesville team rivalry that I'm so glad is back on the schedule, and hopefully for many, many years to come.
Yes, that needs to – hopefully that can continue, and I'm sure our higher-ups and administrative people will make sure that happens for sure.
And congrats to them having a good season.
Yeah.
They're over at Bellbrook tonight, so we'll see what they can do.
Have a good one there.
And I said, Coach, what about yourselves? You appreciate that Massey has a tough schedule. They're 1-4, but they're a good 1-4. They have a hard-nosed, physical play. It's a smash-mouth football. I said, I love coaching against this team. I love coaching this week because I love smash-mouth football. I said, well, what about you guys? What do you bring to the table? And he said, honestly, Matt, we're young. We're a young team. He said, I have 5 seniors. One of them is our kicker. The other 4 are kind of playing. 3 of those are really, really strong players that you count on pretty much both sides of the ball in special teams. And, we feel like that with the youth that we have, if you let us build that culture over the next couple of years, we're going to be pretty good. But we got a lot to learn right now. We need to learn more about the game of football right now.
Yeah, and, I think even to attest to Clinton-Massie was even young here early on in the year, so they kind of gone through the same things. It sounds like Goshen's going through the same things, but they have they played a pretty decent game. They beat Hillsborough. I saw this. They beat Hillsborough 14-7. Hillsborough knocked off Williamsburg in overtime, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, for Williamsburg's only loss of the season. So they beat, to me, a good team then in Hillsborough if, Hillsborough turns around and beat Williamsburg. So.
And then for some reason against Blanchester, he said it just wasn't their night, down by 23. Played one of, in his words, one of the worst halves of football that they've played all year. And then all of a sudden the second half played tremendously well. He said if we could have played the first half if we could put the first half like we did the second half, it would have been a completely different game. So I'm sure he wants to get off to a fast start here, and that's the goal for any team against Clinton-Massie, because we've seen, other than in the state championship game, this offense is not built to necessarily come behind 2 or 3 scores. So we want to make sure that they come out fast and come out excited, and Goshen wants to capitalize early. And as Goshen sets the tee, Clinton-Massie is going to receive to start this game. We're down with 12 on the clock right now, so we're going to have a kickoff in just a moment. Goshen, their kicker, who does all their kicking for them, is number 90, Thompson. He will have the punting duties, the kickoff duties, the field goal, extra points, everything. He's everything leg, we'll say. So we'll be calling his name a few times, I'm sure, this evening. And they go for a little pooch kick. Tristan Trampler fair catches, and he's able to get the ball. He's going to stop. And right about the 27-yard line, offense for Clinton-Massie is going to trot onto the field.
Smart play there by Tristan. He tried a little high pooch kick, and you are allowed to fair catch kickoffs, and smart play by the freshman.
And Brady Russell did the same thing either last week or the week before. Something tells me that is how they're coached. So instead of taking a big hit, because that's the problem with the pooch kick. When you field a pooch kick, there's such a short amount of time for that blocking scheme to get put into place that you could take a big wallop. So why not just fair catch it, get your offense on the field, don't turn over the ball, and let's make something happen early. Clinton-Massie comes back. It comes out in an I backfield, slot right. Tight end is to the left. Dotting the I is Nolan Phipps. They give it to the fullback, and he's off and running. He breaks one tackle.
Go, baby. Come on, Brody.
He's to the 50. He's to the 45, 40.
Got some laundry on the field.
It's going to be a flag that comes in late into the play, but actually it looks like they're going to stop them from moving forward. So it's going to be a spot foul. And with a successful first down run, it looks like Clinton-Massie is going to be called for holding, but it's going to be deep into the defensive backfield.
That's a tough call.
Yeah.
Wow. Going to the fullback right away. We talked about that a little bit in the pregame,
Have to establish the fullback.
Yeah.
A Clinton-Massie offense is based on the fullback, always has been. The type of wishbone that is run, it has to go through the fullback, and everybody knows that. So still going to be a first down run. They're going to reset the chains. Defense coach calls their defense here for a second time. So after just one play, we reset the ball at the 42-yard line. So we did lose about 15 yards on that because of the penalty, but back into the double slot look. Single receiver to the right is Ty Phipps, goes in motion. McDowell goes back to Brody Clutter.
Oh, lost
ball
the football
comes out.
and another. Yep, that's his.
And the ball's going to be recovered, it looks like, by Clinton-Massie, second down. And on that ball is
Tyler Tolson.
Yes, Tyler Tolson is going to be on. And I was corrected by somebody earlier. It's Tolson, not Tolleson.
Yeah, I had him in class today,
Yes.
and he wanted to make sure that we got it right
Tolson,
tonight.
got it, yes. Tolson. I will make sure we get that right. Good kid, funny kid.
Yeah, yes, he is.
Nice to be around, so we will try to get his name right so he can be happy with us. So, again, that double slot look, tied into the left. Brody Clutter still behind Keegan Lamb. Your quarterback goes under center. In motion goes Gabe McDowell. The toss goes to McDowell.
Great
Big block
kick
on the
out.
left
Yeah.
side. He cuts back into the interior of the line, and he gets dropped about the 48-yard line. So just a couple yards on a long run there, but it just nets him 2 yards forward. So it's going to be third down and 4 as they set up at the 48. We're going to go right to left on your TV screen. And thank you for joining us. Those of you that have been able to share with a friend, please do. You can go to the Campus Nation Facebook page. You can go to the Clinton-Massie Local Schools Facebook page and find the free broadcast on behalf of Campus Nation and our sponsors that we'll share with you here in just a little bit. The wishbone look this time. Single receiver is to the left. That's Ty Phipps. The tight end to the right. Unbalanced to the left. Goes off the left-hand side. He's met, drives his feet, but he's going to be stopped before he can gain a first down. It's going to be 4th and 2.
I think Coach McShirley's going to go for this.
Yeah, McSorley, I think
Riverboat Dan.
Yeah, he has an unwritten rule of when they cross the 50, it's 4-down territory. They are right. The nose of the ball is on the 50-yard line, and you can see Brady Russell calling in the play already. So big play for Goshen right here on defense, and we're going to name some defensive starters for Clinton-Massie here when we switch sides, and we'll give you the offensive Goshen here in just a moment. So let's see if Clinton-Massie can continue this drive again to Gabe McDowell. He finds an opening. That's going to be a first down run. He even breaks another tackle and gets 3 more yards. So with forward progress, he's going to make it to the 45-yard line. That's going to be a first down, Clinton-Massie.
Good to see Gabe McDowell back. You know, he had a tough injury there early in the season. He worked himself in last week. He went 14 attempts for 65 yards and a touchdown. This week, hopefully they can get him going a little bit more.
Yeah, I know that the coaches are glad to see him back on the offense and defensive side of the ball. He's going to spot a little time on defense because of the necessity there, but on offense he is definitely bringing back some of that excitement and big play capability. That's why we call him Big Play Gabe. Nolan Phipps this time in motion. Brody Clutter gets a 3-4-yard gain right away, is able to add another yard to that as Goshen brings him down at the 39-yard line. So, you know what? Seems like he is shooting through that hole really fast.
Yes.
It looks like he's got good speed.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to him again in class today, and I looked at Brody. I said, "Are you healthy? You feel good?"
Yeah.
And he looked right at me, man. And he goes, "Yes, I am, finally, for the first time in a while." So maybe that answers it right there.
Honestly, he looks like he is past the line of scrimmage before before Goshen's ever get out of their stance, and that's a credit to Brody, and we'll see if Goshen can kind of fix that, because if you let the fullback run, McSorley will give it to the fullback all night long. Again to the fullback, and this time an option. Keegan Lamb off the races, the 20, the 15. He's brought down at the 10. A perfect read by Keegan Lamb after he sucks them in on the fullback dive. He goes ahead and takes it off the right side for a successful run down to the 10-yard line.
Some we have struggled with all season. Maybe that could be a good confidence booster for Keegan there. He gets a great read, and the kid has a huge gain off of it, so good for him.
Brandon Updike into the game, which means it's going to be a double tight end set. It'll be Wishbone. That moves Brody Clutter back to the running back position along with Gabe McDowell. That's going to be Nolan Phipps as your fullback this time. Keegan Lamb goes under center. Double tights as you look at the 10-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the left hash. Gabe McDowell fumbles, but it bounces right back up to him. So the possession bag is down on the ground, picked up quickly by the referee, and will keep that ball, but only gain about a yard or so. Yeah, they're going to give him about a yard off that left side.
Kind of worries me there. The ball two times now on this trip. We put it on the deck, so hopefully that's not a good trend.
Yeah, that's definitely not a sign we want to have for the rest of the night here. So as we mentioned, 1-4 is your Clinton-Massie Falcons, 1-4 your Goshen Warriors, with losses for Massey against Waynesville, Edgewood, Fenwick, and DeSales, all strong teams that are having good seasons so far this year. The snap goes to Nolan Phipps. He finds an opening on the right-hand side, but it closes quickly by Goshen. Here comes another flag, and Clinton-Massie is getting tagged, I think, again. Yep, it looks like it's going to be holding against Clinton-Massie. So instead of being 2nd and 9, or 2nd and goal from the 9, it looks like they're going to move them back a little bit further. Now it's going to be to the 14, almost to the 15-yard line. Off that left-hand hash still, Ty Phipps brings this play into the game. Keegan Lamb will set his offense up.
I think, we talk about trying to get some Goshen. Number 30, I think they're led by that number 32 linebacker for Goshen. Good little player. Greg McKinney.
Yes.
Right? He's got 34 tackles for the year, so he's going to run that defense for Goshen.
The snap, the toss, goes to Gabe McDowell. He finds an opening, but he's pulled down by a Goshen defender. He steps out of bounds. And Coach did mention that McKinney, he called him the heart and soul of the defense.
Oh,
that
absolutely.
He is the team leader at linebacker. He's actually coming back this game from a concussion. He had a concussion last week.
Okay. Yeah, you can just tell by looking at him he's a player. He's just got that linebacker look to him with the pads and all that,
One of the few seniors on the team and definitely leading. The 4 captains listed this game as Kilgore, Haley, Perkins, and Harris. He does a little bit of rotation on Coach Elkins does a rotation on captains each week, and it's has a leadership council piece that I know you like a lot. So that's good that he brings opportunities for different kids each week. Double slot as you look, motion. This time the pass dumps it off to Brody Clutter off the right-hand side, and he's going to be called down at the 1-foot line. I mean, you'll have the front of the ball on the end zone line. Yeah, it's
Campus
about a half a ball away.
Do we have booth review? Come on.
Yeah, we're going to need to see that on the review there. That was close. A nice fake.
Yes.
So they faked the toss to the left, the right-hand rollout by Keegan Lamb, a nice soft toss, very nice touch there. Brody Clutter brings it in, sees the daylight, and then unfortunately it closes quickly on him. So we're going to have a 4th down and 1 from the half-yard line. It goes to Brody Clutter, and he's able to push it in. Touchdown, Clinton-Massie Falcons.
Good 6-minute drive there of good old classic Clinton-Massie football, and you even added in the nice little boot pass that was wide open. So good first series for Clinton-Massie.
For Clinton-Massie, that's balance.
Yes.
That's balance.
It is.
I mean, it truly is. If you throw one pass every series, I would consider that a balanced look for Clinton-Massie. Absolutely.
And I always remember in years past, I've only been around here for 3 years now, but that boot pass has always been something special to see when they get it set up right.
Ian McGinnis with the kick, and almost blocked by number 2, Kilgore. He honestly, it might have gone through his arms because he was really close to blocking that extra point attempt.
Yeah, I have him and Kilgore and number 16, Camden Barrio, I think, as two-way players for them too. So they're probably some good athletes for them that are going both ways. So some guys to look out for tonight.
Kilgore honestly was mentioned so many times. I wrote him down as a kickoff returner. He's going to be a long snapper. He starts at linebacker even though he's listed as a safety. They had to bring him down because of the concussion last week to McKinney.
Gotcha.
And they said, honestly, his production was so good they couldn't move him back. They had to keep him there. That's a compliment to the kid.
Yeah, it is.
And he looks like an athlete.
Yes, he does.
Fast. So he will probably, if I'm guessing, he might be in the back returning, doing a kickoff return here because he's just that guy. You know what I mean? So congratulations to Clinton-Massie. They do score on their first drive, and like you said, in Clinton-Massie fashion, eating 6 minutes off the clock, hitting pay dirt. Off the right-hand side was Brody Clutter diving in at about a half yard, putting them up at this point 7-0. And just like I thought, Kilgore is in the back returning this kickoff as well as number 3,
Lucas Perkins.
Lucas Perkins. So Perkins and Kilgore will receive this Ian McGinnis kick from the 40. The kick, a long, nice, high end over end at the 2-yard line.
Come on.
The catch, he finds an opening. It closes, and he's brought down at the 27. So a nice return there. That's a 25-yard return by Kilgore.
And saved there by Nolan Phipps, it looks like. Woo.
Long strides. That young man has long strides. He covered a lot of ground in a very short amount of time. I'll tell you, that Kilgore must be an athlete.
Yes.
He's got to be an athlete. Nice looking kid there so far. So let's talk a little bit about offense. So we have some offensive starters. I'm going to list them for you quickly as they come onto the field. I got to start with my big uglies up front because I was an O-line coach for a long time. How about Tristan Guckenberger? We have Dylan Anderson, Jaden Owens, Derek Johnson, and Logan Redmond, and we'll get to the rest of them in just a minute here. So looks like a 2-by-2 look, a single running back to the right of Haley. He's going to call for the snap. The throw, it's knocked down, so it's going to hit the ground before it gets to the receiver. He had an opening, but it was deflected. The rest of the offensive starters, you'll see, as we mentioned, Tyler Kilgore, the senior, number 2, that seems like the Swiss Army knife so far, Lucas Perkins. You'll have Gabe Cope as the running back for a majority of the time, but you'll also see Perkins in there a little bit running the ball. You'll see Logan Haley as your quarterback. River Gambrell is taking the place of an injured Camden Burial. And then Corbin Miller will be on your outside as well. So this time, 3 receivers to the left, single receiver to the right. The running back, they fake to the to Cope, and this time Haley's going to run the ball.
Good play.
He's driven out of bounds by Brighton Rodman.
Nice.
Brighton Rodman has just been coming on more and more every single week.
I'm glad you brought that out. I was hoping to get to him in the broadcast tonight. Brighton Rodman, a young man who decided to hang up basketball as a sophomore to work on his body over in the strength lab. Just for this reason, to get on the field as a junior, and I couldn't be more impressed with the kid. He looks really good out there, and I think he's been a really nice addition as a junior for the Falcons.
And starting on defense, you'll see Brady Russell, Brody Clutter taking the place in middle linebacker for his brother Ty, Gavin Hunter, Brighton Rodman, Miles Thiegy, Keegan Lamb, Peyton Brewer at the linebacker position, Tristan Trampler, the freshman corner outside, Brandon Updike, Elijah Groh, and Brody Green will be your 2 interior tackles with Justin Beekman filling in there as well. So that's your defensive starters for Clinton-Massie. Looks like the blitz may be on, but they do. They bring Gavin Hunter. The catch this time on the outside is to 32. That's McKinney, but they're going to wave it out saying that it hit the ground. So you're going to have 4th down and 5, and it looks like the punting team is going to come on for Goshen. That would be number 90, as we mentioned before. The everything leg is Gavin Thompson. He is listed at 6'5", 210, and I'll tell you, I don't think they're exaggerating.
No, that's a big kid.
That's a big young man right there. So, put him at defensive end if you need a little help there. But I believe a soccer guy that's come out to help the football team, I'm sure Coach Elkin appreciates that. The punt, strong leg off the left-hand side. It's going to bounce at the 30 and go out of bounds right at the 32-yard line. So basically going from 25 to 30. That's a nice punt.
Getting back to that 3rd down stop for the Falcons, they had a really good percentage of 3rd down efficiency last week against Harrison. That trend needs to continue as they get into league play here. So great job by the defense in their first years to get not 3 and out, but getting out on a 3rd down there.
So coming later, you will hear the question of the game. Excited to bring that back. We had a lot of response last week. We'll bring that to the table again. You can respond. And then also we have shout-outs. If you'd like to have a shout-out sent to somebody, or you want to let us know where you are watching from, it's 937-303-8069. Again, 937-303-8069. We have international people shouting out. We have all kinds of people. So to Brody Clutter, the ball goes. And, again, another nice run on 1st down of almost 5 yards. And, again, just hitting the hole so fast. It seems so quick.
I'm glad you pointed that out, Matt. He does look really fresh out there tonight. That's a good sign.
And he's going to be playing both ways, seeing a lot of time on the field. I know that he helps out, I'm sure, on a special team or two. So let's hope that energy can last deep into the game. And I know that Coach Elkin has said Clinton-Massie is famous for just grinding you over and over again. And by that 4th quarter, you're just wore out in that smash mouth, punch in the mouth. And this time Keegan Lamb finds another opening off the left-hand side. It looks like a face mask there. Yeah, so Keegan Lamb tosses the ball to the referee. That's going to be a 1st down. It's going to have additional yardage because of the face mask. You can see the call by the back judge there. So we'll tack on some yardage there. Nice pull and nice run.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one when I actually thought Clutter had the ball hopping over somebody, and then Keegan has it. He made a great read then. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's 2 reads that have been very successful for Keegan. And again,
it's a confidence booster with him. They can get to that midline to where we have to be able to run the midline here at Clinton-Massie to be effective.
And Coach Elkin has said, that as their team has started to be more productive over the last couple of weeks, I would give the same thing to Clinton-Massie. Harrison, they scored 31 points. They've already scored on their first drive here, and it seems like Keegan's reading the option really well. It looks like a false start there off the right-hand side. One of the linemen jumped just a little bit, so they're going to set that back 5 yards. And again, as we're talking to Coach Elkin, he said, what is it about Clinton-Massie football that just over and over again that some people want to replicate and want to mimic? And he gave a lot of credit to the weight room program. He said, when he first got to Goshen, that wasn't exactly where they wanted it to be. He felt like there needed to be a better focus on the weights. No disrespect to Greg Miller. That's not what he was saying. He said just the amount of kids had been dropping over the last year or so, and they just weren't putting the time in the weight room that he wanted to see. So he has put that as a major focus. And he said that's a credit to Clinton-Massie. That's where a focus has been for them for many, many years, and that's why they can grind you for four quarters.
Absolutely.
I backfield again, tight end to the left. Looks like Brody Clutter's going to have it. He's dragging 2 and 3 defenders with him. He takes a hard shot, but he's going to be brought down at the 28-yard line.
Good hit by number 80 there for Goshen, Evan Harris.
Yeah, Harris.
5'8", 143-pound junior.
And he's also going to bring some time on the offensive side of the field as well, Coach Elkin said. So Clinton-Massie with 2nd down and 3 this time. They're going to set up at the 29-yard line. They're on the left-hand hash. This time a double slot look with Gabe McDowell on the right side, Nolan Phipps on the left side, Brody Clutters behind Keegan Lamb as he goes under center. Ty Phipps is your receiver to the left. Nolan Phipps goes into motion, goes back to the fullback. He hops one defender, but he is getting taken down early, and clapping it up is McKinney, the leader on defense, what Coach called his defensive quarterback. Without him, it's hard to get the calls in and get the plays, the defensive calls and the defensive plays set. So he's glad he's back on the field this week.
Always have to have a leader like that on the defensive side for sure. Normally it comes from your linebacker.
Yeah, just an overall athlete.
Yeah, I just like the way he looks. Yeah. He just looks like a football player out there.
And Coach actually said at one point, before Haley had established himself as the quarterback, they were looking at putting him at the quarterback position early in the summer camp. So this time Keegan Lamb, another pull, and to the right-hand side off of the Owen Trick block, and looks like it's going to be a nice run there, a good 4-yard run. 2nd and 6 will be your setup there as we see 1:58 left on the clock with a 7-0 score. Clinton-Massie in the favor right now.
I'd imagine they'll stay to the ground here, but you never know. It might sneak that boot pass in again.
Yeah, you never know.
Get the tight end involved, maybe.
Yeah, we would call it the air raid offense
if
it's 2
crazy,
in one quarter there. So Keegan Lamb goes under center, goes to Phipps. He gets the handoff. He goes off the right-hand side. A nice run that's going to bring him down real close to the 1st down, and they might be able to give it to him as the side judge comes a little bit past the line there. They're going to hold the sticks. And they're actually going to call that 3rd and about 1.
Yeah, offensive line showing some dominance right now. They came into the season, everybody's talking, a lot of guys back there and whatnot. And, you know how a lot of people talk. One, they haven't been getting a lot of love lately, but tonight, man, they're coming out and establishing that line of scrimmage.
And you saw that against Harrison as well. It seemed like they were able to impose their will a little bit better than some of the games prior to. And honestly, the competition was pretty stiff up to that point. So Nolan Phipps goes into motion. Brody Clutter. Keegan Lamb pulls it up the right-hand side.
Wow.
He's going to go untouched into the end zone. Fantastic read. That's 4 of them already this quarter. He's doing a great job reading the midline.
He is. If he can continue this, it is a big confidence booster for him because, I've talked to him personally about some things. He works hard at it, man. He's a very competitive kid, wants to win, and he had been struggling a little bit with the option. But, tonight, man, good for him. I'm proud of the kid.
And let me take you a little bit deeper into this offense. For those that are unaware, the wishbone option offense is not as simplistic as you think it may be. It's not just, hey, get the guy right in front of you. If you talk to Coach Zantini, there's actually 3 moderations, if you will, of that midline. It's changes in blocking scheme, basically. So if they see something that they like, they will actually call a different version of the midline because they want to block it a certain way. And then they'll even change a 3rd time, depending on if the defense counters what they did on the change. So it's very complicated. A lot of people don't give it the credit that it deserves. It can be very explosive. In fact, that was the main point the Harrison coach said last week, was just the explosiveness of the wishbone option. A lot of people don't really recognize it as an explosive offense. It can be, and it's done by Clinton-Massie on a regular basis.
I talk with Coach Zantini a lot every morning at school, and he even said that they can run this stuff out of multiple formations too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's just more of a headache than too as a defensive coordinator trying to prepare.
Just
for
takes up time.
It does.
Yeah, it takes up too much.
It's very
time
hard
in
to
your,
prepare
in
for
practice. Yeah, and then when you don't go against it, you're usually going against spread teams. You don't have the time in a week to get ready for an option offense. So the kick by McGinnis, and that's
Another
a
good
long, hard kick that's going to go into the end zone. A touchback for Ian McGinnis. And over the last couple weeks, just a little further and a little further. He used to drop him about the 10. Then he hit the 5, and now he's put a couple touchbacks over the last couple weeks. So congratulations to McGinnis following in the traditions. I'm sure he wouldn't want me to say this of his brother Trevor, but he wants to stand on his own, and we'll give him that credit.
Yes,
but
he does.
Nice job by Ian. We're going to have probably a few plays here because there are 45 seconds on the clock, and we are going to bring a couple sponsors to the table here in just a moment. So as we set up, as Goshen sets up midfield or in the middle of the field at the 20-yard line, they'll bring their looks like a 2-by-2 set. Yep. So 2 receivers on the left, 2 receivers on the right. Single running back is next to Haley in the backfield. The snap. He sets the long throw to the side of Tristan Trampler. And it looks like there's a flag coming out now. I will say that Trampler put his hand on the ball. They may be getting him for his offhand on the body of the receiver.
Yeah, I thought he did. Yeah, got a great job getting the right hand in for the deflection. Maybe the left hand was on him somewhere that we can't see.
Yeah, so we're going to see this here as they come to midfield to make this call.
He was right with them. I mean, he was stride for stride. Did a great way. Played it the way you're supposed to, but.
Did we get a call on that? Defensive holding. Okay. Defensive holding is the call.
The 5-yard variety. The 5-yard.
Not
too bad.
Yeah, not too bad there. So we'll reset Goshen at the 30-yard line. It is going to be a 1st down and 10 from the 30. Haley has his single running back to the left, 2 receivers to his left, 2 receivers to his right. Cope gets the ball. He tries to shake a couple times. He is able to find an opening off the right-hand side outside of the numbers. He's going to, let's see, that's 7. So that is, I'm going to make sure we've got all the right people here in credit. Yeah, that is Cope.
Yep.
Off the right-hand side there and finds an opening outside of the numbers, which is going to net him 5 yards. So it'll be 2nd and 5.
Yeah, Cope's a guy right now. He's got 83 attempts for 498 yards through 5 games and 4 touchdowns. So he's putting up some decent production from the running back position.
Absolutely. Sure. And throw another 20 yards in there as a receiver as well. So he's kind of a do-everything on offense. So as we have a moment here, we're going to go to our sponsors. Let's talk to our friends at Sam's Meats. Stop by Sam's Meats in Wilmington to support a locally owned and operated business. You'll find fresh chicken, pork, and beef. Dine in or carry out and enjoy homemade hot bar meals and grill items. Sam's Meats also offers catering, party trays, and homemade desserts. What's your favorite dessert there, Coach Graves?
Ooh.
Because they might just make it homemade at Sam's Meat. So open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m., 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday. They are also hiring. Apply for a full or part-time position today. So if you need a little extra cash, go to Sam's Meats and apply. Campus Nation, we appreciate the fans at Campus Nation. We're excited to bring both the reigning state high school football champs, the Clinton-Massie Falcons, and the reigning National Collegiate Club football champions, the Ohio State University, this Sunday, September 25th. Join us at the Lincoln Tower Park in Columbus, or watch live on campusnation.com as the Buckeyes return to home field for the first time this season. Our stream of Michigan State at The Ohio State University club football begins at 11:45 a.m., and you will not want to miss it. I just was mentioning before the broadcast, the quarterback that plays for the club team is an unbelievable athlete. I watched and was able to broadcast a game last year, and he is amazing. Fun to watch. Over 5,000 yards as a club quarterback.
It's pretty impressive.
Yep, the snap, and the ball is deflected. It's going to be knocked down and hit by
Brighton Rodman, number 9.
Rodman again.
Getting his hands up.
Causing some trouble, so nice job by him to deflect that ball. It falls to the ground, so that's going to be a 3rd and 5 as Goshen sets up at the 35-yard line.
And another chance for the defense to get off the field here, get the offense back on, keep up with the rhythm we got.
So as Haley brings the play in off of the sideline, he's going to tell his offensive line how to set up. To his left is Cope. Been there all night and doing a good job, averaging 6.6 yards a carry. So he's able to do something similar so far on his first carry. So that pass is caught by number 2. That's Kilgore bringing the ball in, and for a first down, a great catch, goes out of bounds, stops the clock. I mean, that's
that
a good
was
of
a
play.
well-played ball.
Absolutely.
Yeah, see, he threw that right on the break.
Yeah.
Like that was almost like NFL there for
Yeah.
a second. I mean,
Square out to take to the sideline.
Yeah.
He hit him about 2 yards before he got out of bounds. So nice pitch and catch there by the duo of Haley and Kilgore. And we mentioned Kilgore already a few times tonight. Probably going to mention him many, many more. So left-hand side sees 2 receivers. Right-hand side sees 2 receivers. Single running back behind. That ball is going to be given to to Cope. And he's going to find a spot on the left-hand side with about a 4-yard gain. Tries to get to the numbers, but is stopped by a combination of both Rodman and Miles Thiegy. So I would say a little bit of size up front. We mentioned the offensive starters there, listed at 270, 260, 245, 300, and 305. And I would say that's not much of an exaggeration there.
I'd say I noticed maybe 1 or 2 might go both ways as well, too. So
yeah, actually, we've got Jaden Owens and Derek Johnson are both two-way players, as well as Kilgore, Lucas Perkins, Gabe Cope will see both sides as well. Pressure being put on by Brody Clutter.
That was nice. Thought he might have got away with a little, I know it's not the NFL, but hands to the face there in the head. I don't know if they call that in high school or not. But
not much unless it's egregious, we'll say. Yeah.
Okay. I was a little scared there.
Yeah, Logan Haley was able to get that ball off, but he was pressured by Brody Clutter. Again, you're seeing Clutter on the offense, the defensive side. The motor's going tonight.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Matt. That's a great observation by you.
So as they set up 3rd down and a long 5, almost 6 at the 45-yard line, you're going to get the play in. It seems like they're taking a little bit of time here to get this play in, so they'll set up 2 on the right side, 2 off the left side, Cope and Haley in the backfield. The snap, Haley gets it, sets.
Get there, set up.
A lot of pressure, but he's able to dump it off to Cope, who makes one man miss. Then he goes to the right-hand side and almost goes out of bounds, but tackled by Keegan Lamb. So a nice little, it's not a jump pass, but almost like a little floater pass over his the pressure that he was feeling from Elijah Grow and Brody Green.
Hey, he got flushed out of the pocket. If he sets up there, he probably gets sacked, but he was able to kind of just, like you said, just a little kind of Brett Favre-esque a little bit, make a little play out of something.
So Coach Elkins said that Haley is a pretty accomplished basketball and baseball player. So they had to do a little bit of chatter in his ear to get him to come out and play some football. This time he got two receivers on the left and 2 running backs behind Haley, single receivers off the right-hand side. It's going to go to Cope again. He finds an opening off the left-hand side, swallowed up quickly by Miles Thiegy, and it looks like Peyton Brewer brings him down as well. So he looks fast. I think that the holes are just closing kind of quick on him.
Yes, because I thought there was a potential there to make a big play, but then it just got closed up pretty quick.
So Goshen looking to start opening up some holes and keep them open just a little bit longer. And Haley seems to be spending a lot of time getting the plays over to the sideline. And I know at some point either that's going to cause him a little bit of trouble, maybe delay a game, or simply just wearing him out, running all those extra steps. So right-hand side sees 2 receivers. There's 2 running backs in the backfield. Left side sees a single receiver. The throw this time, it's going to be intercepted by Brady Russell. He returns it to the 30, to the 40. He's brought down at the 37-yard line, so kind of a floater pass outside of the numbers, and Brady Russell just kind of playing center field there.
Yeah, kind of where he needed to be. I'm sure that was where he needed to be in their zone or their coverage they were in. It went right to him,
So the defense calls on a turnover there. Coach Rolfe clapping him up as he comes off to the sideline there. So, if you're Goshen and you're down 14-0, obviously the turnover is the last thing you want, but you've got to make a stop here, either a 3-and-out or at least stop any scoring from having to keep it close.
You felt like they had a little momentum going there. They really did. And then Massie steps up and gets the big turnover. Goshen needs to come out here and get a stop now.
And Haley's been pretty efficient. He only has 3 interceptions in 103 attempts, and he's already attempted a few tonight, so we'll call it 110 attempts and 3 interceptions, and he's got a 50% completion rate. So, kind of a little bit out of his norm. Goes in motion, does Nolan Phipps out of the I backfield. They try to fake it. It's a pass to Bryton Rodman. He's open. He's to the 30, the 25, the 20,
pass,
the 10. Touchdown, Bryton Rodman and Clinton-Massie Falcons.
The old tight end pop pass it looked like. I love it. They had talked about that this week, those two guys in class with me, and they connected. That's great.
What a great pass. And I want you to notice something, those of you that got to watch that on film. He led him.
Yeah,
he
right
led him right in stride. I mean, he dropped it on his hands, and he didn't have to break stride, and that gave him an extra 10 yards of cushion so he could outrun the defense. What a great play by Clinton-Massie.
They're just all looking real fresh and maybe healthy tonight for some reason. Different level, whole different level tonight with them. I love the energy they're bringing. There's excitement in the air here. Hey, like we said, we're all 0-0 again tonight, so this is a new season that's starting, and we're going to start it off hopefully the right way. So
the extra point is good. It makes it 21-0, and let's thank our friends at Trampler Brothers Paving. Trampler Brothers Paving is a family-owned and operated full-service company specialized in commercial, industrial, residential asphalt paving, seal coating, excavation, and creating boys that play football. How about that? They're good at that too, yeah.
Yes.
Developing trusting relationships with our customers through exceptional work, customer service, and integrity, proudly servicing Clinton, Warren, Butler, and Hamilton counties since 1935. Contact us for your free quote at 513-777-6747. Again, a free quote at 513-777-6747. So we appreciate all of our sponsors, Trampler Brothers Paving, Sam's Meats, and our friends at Campus Nation. We'll get to a few others here in just a second as Goshen sets up down 21-0 with still a lot of time in the second quarter.
There is, and you talked about it, Matt, I think earlier where we still pass it something. I think, what are we, 2 for 2 now?
We're
getting back to that old vintage style of Clinton-Massie football a little bit. We're getting the run game going, and then, So.
What a great pass. And those of you that will get to watch that again on film, it's exciting to see him hit him in stride like that. I believe Kilgore bring this in at the 5. He's able to find a little bit of space, but he's tripped underneath and slips a little bit. Maybe the turf monster got him. That right hash is going to stop him and put him on right about the 20-yard line. And as we can take just a second for another sponsor, Destination Outlets, the second annual World Pumpkin Pie Eating Championship is back at Destination Outlets. Will competitive eater Joey Chestnut take home the title again in 2022? Find out on Sunday, October 9th at 1 p.m. I thank Corey Price, returning back from a couple weeks out. We appreciate Corey Price here running our camera. I think Corey said he's willing to give him a little competition. What do you think? Can you put down some pumpkin pie there? Okay. Corey said, let's go. Rick said, I'm in. Let's watch it. So Goshen sets up. 2 receivers to the left-hand side. Cope gets the ball, finds an opening, switches feet, and the ball comes out. The fumble. It's down at the 15, but it's going to be recovered. A loss of about 7 yards. So Cope, as he's trying to get those extra yards, lets the ball go behind him, and he's going to drop another 7 behind the line of scrimmage.
It's one of those where those defensive coaches like to coach, and you've been there before, man. When you get to their gang tackle, you just start ripping that out, and that's exactly what happened there. I'm not sure who ripped it out, but that's what you're taught to do when you get that big gang tackle.
Yeah, if you've got momentum stopped, the next person in needs to scratch at the ball. Yeah, absolutely. So Goshen going backwards, so it's second down, and it looks like 15 right now. Wilmington already up 20-0 against Batavia, and right now 0-0 East Clinton versus Bethel Tate. So we'll try to keep you updated on those scores as soon as possible. We'll also get you a few that we know are league games as well, with New Richmond playing Western Brown. The snap. The read goes to Cope. This time Haley keeps it. He's going to be tackled from behind, and that's Brighton Rodman. Again, we're calling Brighton Rodman quite a few times on defense. He's deflecting passes. He's making tackles, just causing a lot of hecticness there in the offensive backfield. So nice job by the defense of the Clinton-Massie. And I know that Coach Elkin wants me to make sure I get this in. He gave a lot of credit to the defense. He said, look, Massie is known for scoring points. You go back to, the records that they set at the state level for amount of scoring per year. But this year, he said, I have to say that the defense is probably a little better. The defense is playing lights out, and that's a compliment from another head coach.
Mm-hmm. They have come along real well with a lot of, obviously replacing a lot of guys from last year.
Trips right. The screen pass goes to, we'll get you a number here in just a second as the defense is piling off of them. That's to Kilgore, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is that our man? No, that's 25. 25.
Corbin Miller.
That's Corbin Miller who's able to get that, but that is not going to be enough for a first down. So the downfield defense was good. They had to drop it off to the safety valve. They couldn't get the first down yardage, so it's going to be 4th and 2 for Goshen. They're going to send out their punting unit. Kilgore's the personal protector. Thompson is your punter. A successful first punt, going from about the 25 to the other 30. He gets a little bit of a side snap there, which makes him go off the right side of his foot. Another booming kick, though. I tell you, a punter is a weapon, an absolute weapon when you're able to put – he just flipped the field.
Yes.
He just flipped the field. He went from the 25-yard line to the 18-yard line.
It's definitely a nice weapon to have, especially if, when you're trying to flip the field here, it should have been in our favor, getting it, maybe around the 40 or 50.
No wonder they talked that kid to come out from the soccer team.
Yeah.
How about let's talk about our friends at Campus Nation again. As always, Team Campus Nations, thanks you for tuning in to stay up to date on all broadcasts upcoming and archive. Make sure to like the Campus Nation Facebook page, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to the YouTube channel so we can continue to have these free. Did I say free, Steve?
Yeah.
Free broadcast. Where others are charging, we're handing it out for free. So how about double slot with a single running back? That's Clutter behind Keegan Lamb. He fakes it to
Great
Clutter.
Block by Gabe McDowell right
Absolutely.
there, too.
Takes on a defender at the 43-yard line and knocks him over. That's number 7. That's Cope playing defense. So Keegan Lamb pulls from the fullback and is able to get about a 22-yard run on first down.
I mentioned Gabe there on that block, talking with Coach Zantini a lot. He's like, my backs better be willing to block for one another, too. And I know he's been trying to find the right pieces for that, too. And Gabe showed that right there, and then Keegan cuts up right underneath. It was pretty nice.
Nice block by Gabe McDowell. Big play. Gabe can do it as a blocker. He can do it as a runner, so we appreciate having him back after that injury. And checking into the game is Logan Chesser. He actually goes into motion. Brody Clutter gets the call, met pretty quickly after a 2-yard gain by the defense of the Goshen Warriors. That is number 71, Derek Johnson. Nice-sized young man up there up front is able to bring Brody Clutter down just after a short gain. Okay. So those of you that are watching us live, we are going to bring back our picture here in just a moment. You can still hear the audio, so we will give you as much as possible on the play-by-play. So going in motion is Gabe McDowell. The ball goes to Brody Clutter. He's off to the races. He's at the 30. Oh. He does get caught by a defender who's trying to reach for the ball, but he keeps driving his legs. He's down to the 18-yard line. So a nice 35-yard run there on that attempt, and he had the defender had him stopped at about the 25-yard line, and he just kept on driving his feet.
We've been talking about that. Brody being fresh, man. He is fresh out there, and it's going to be huge for us to finish out this season here in league play if we can keep him healthy, because he's showing tonight, man. When he's healthy, he can roll.
The biggest difference in my mind is the speed. His speed. Now, he did outrun a defender last week against Harrison when he got onto that open run for the touchdown. The snap, the toss goes to Chesser. He finds a little bit of room on the right-hand side, but a nice play by
Evan
the defenders
Harris,
to bring that back out. And we've called his name a couple times already.
Yeah, he's flying around from that safety spot coming up, making some good hits.
Kilgore also supporting on that defensive stop as well. So Keegan Lamb gets his team into their offensive huddle, setting up the ball at the 10-yard line. It's going to be second, and it looks like about 6 yards will take them down right about the 5-yard line if they can go first and goal from the 5. Check of your time. It's 4:52. The score's 21-0. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties. We'll bring back the picture of the field here in just a moment. Continue to record for those that want to watch it afterwards and get to see these plays. Hopefully, the ball goes to Gabe McDowell. He is met immediately and brought down.
That had to be our guy. Let me think. Let's see.
McKinney.
There he is, 32. Yeah, that was a good stick.
A very successful ball player from, both sides of the ball. You're going to see him at the tight end position. You're going to see him at the defensive position. He's the senior leader, and he's the quarterback of the defense.
Yeah, and I keep seeing him clapping and getting excited out there. Down 21-0. He's still showing that fire, that leadership that the coach talked about. Yep.
It's easy when you're up 21-0 to clap, but when you're down 21-0, it's a little tougher.
Good character kid, I'm sure.
The pull by Keegan Lamb. He stopped this time, so they had both of the options stopped on that particular play. I will say, I do want to mention Coach Elkin had said, he has a lot of high character kids. Let me tell you a quick little story about Haley. Okay, so Haley's mom's a booster, stays after the games. Haley goes up. He had just played a football game, goes up to the stands and starts cleaning up trash while he's waiting for his mom to finish up counting money and things like that. That's a high character kid right there.
That's awesome.
4th down and 1. Brody Clutter goes in for the score. So out of 4th down and 1 play from the 6-yard line,
Almost
that's another
untouched
score.
on the
Yeah,
6-yard
he
line.
just he leaped over one guy, and then all of a sudden he's in the end zone. So almost a nonchalant score there. He kind of taps his offensive line, shows a little appreciation there, and says, hey, let's get back after it one more time before this half is over. So, again, you like to hear good stories about quality character individuals, and the coach was very quick to say, I've got great kids. I've got high-character kids. And when you've got your quarterback who's just played a football game going in and picking up trash for people, because he has some time to do it. It actually ended on social media. A couple people took some pictures of it and says, this is the kind of kid that represents Goshen.
Yeah, and it's funny.
Nice.
That's a great story, Matt, because I brought that up with my basketball guys the other night at Open Gym. I said, guys, as a coach, I want people to come up to me and tell me how well-behaved you are, how you're doing this and doing that and that. And I said, that speaks volumes. And for Goshen, it sounds like they got a lot of good kids like that. So, and then that's just a good thing in life for them too. They'll be successful. So
I used to say all the time, I teach the game of life using football. It's I coach football and I enjoy it, but it's really teaching about life. When you get knocked down, you got to get back up, and all those cliches that you hear.
Yeah.
But you can use the games of football and the games of basketball in order to do that. So, again, we appreciate everybody checking in. We do understand we're going through some technical difficulties, and I've already been told, get the camera off these goofballs because we don't want to see them. We want to see the field. So we will try to get that up and running just as quick as possible. And I guess I jinxed myself with the free broadcast line. That's why it's free, because we don't want to.
We don't want to be fielding phone
That's
calls
right.
right now.
That's right. So
we got a flag, I think offsides on us.
So it's going to be offsides on Clinton-Massie. We'll reset. And while we reset, let's send some shout-outs real quick. We've had some people give us a little bit of love here. So actually quite a few. So let's go Big Play Gabe watching from Oxford, Ohio, and that's from Holly. We really appreciate you guys. Go Falcons. Shout out to Sammy Brown and all the cheerleaders from Fairborn. And this is one that checks in every week. Memes and Bookie. You got to say Bookie. You can't just say Bookie. It's Bookie. Right. Shout out to Massey girls varsity soccer team, the only undefeated team for Massey at 9-0-1 from the Shockleys. Excellent job by the girls soccer team and the boys soccer team.
Yeah,
great
both
job
of them are
too.
having great seasons.
Got to send a shout out to tennis as well.
Girls tennis today.
14-1. How about that?
Yeah, and won the league championship. They have about like 1 point or something.
Yes.
I don't know how that all works, but exciting time around here for some other sports we got. So,
last shout out from Brighton Rodman's grandpa, Scott Rodman from Taiwan, headed home in the morning. Go Falcons.
Oh, wow.
So the kick and the reception of that kick is by Kilgore. He finds an opening off the right-hand side, gets all the way back to the 40-yard line. That's a 39-yard return off the right-hand side hash, and that's going to be 3:22 with the score 28-0 Clinton-Massie. We'll also see, we've been looking at you two for about 5 minutes. Can we see the game? We're getting to it as quick as possible. Yes, I understand there's people saying we can't see the game. We are experiencing a little technical difficulty. We'll get back to it as soon as possible. Shout out to Dr. Richard and Ida Pounder watching in Knoxville, Tennessee.
oh, wow.
Yeah, shout out from
Vols
Jack
got
Goff
a big game tomorrow against the Gators.
in Powell, Ohio. Love watching my little squirt online. So, okay. The snap goes to Cope. Ooh, and he is rocked by Keegan Lamb, bringing him down just after a 2-yard game. And Rodman sending a shout out from Louisville, Kentucky, watching my grandson, Bright Rodman, get a touchdown and go Falcons.
Yeah.
Jimmy Singleton from Chiefs Lake. Right around the
All
corner.
right.
How about Groovy Dog Tie-Dye from Morrow Arts Center, go Falcons. So we appreciate all the shout outs coming in. Looks like we're going to have an opportunity to talk to one of the 2012 state football champions that will be honored at halftime. Austin Floria, hopefully, will be able to join us at halftime. And we will let them know to come up here. It looks like Western Brown up 6-0 against New Richmond at the end of the first. Everybody's calling right now saying, hey, we can't see anything. I appreciate that. In fact, if we want, look at this. I'm going to make a management decision here. Corey, we're gonna hand you off the mobile device. Watch your fingers there.
Well played right there,
Yeah,
Matt.
we're going to
Well
try.
played.
We're going to try. If people don't want to see us, I understand. They want to see some
This is the
football.
best we can do
This
for
is the
right
best
now.
we can do
Control
for
the
right now.
controllables,
That's
man,
right.
you know.
That's right. So we'll get you a little bit of action back on the screen here. It's going to be 2nd down and 8. Goshen Warriors are set up in a 2 receivers to the left, 2 receivers to the right.
Here I haven't seen yet.
So they fake the handoff, a run-pass option. And, again, Keegan Lamb bringing the wood, but he is able to hold on, and that's my man Kilgore doing a great job on offense, defense, special teams. I think he fills the water bottles, and, anything you ask for, that guy is able to do. First down is going to be for Goshen at the 49-yard line.
I'd be doing him a disservice if I didn't call him Keegan the Missile Lamb.
He
told me that the Star 64 last week was calling him that on
the missile,
and he loved it. He's like, so Coach, make sure you get the missile in there tonight. So I said, okay.
Oh, he's using your phone. Yeah. So brought down is Haley
Phipps and
so actually
Elijah
going backwards a little bit.
Yeah.
Nolan Phipps is going to see some time on defense, they said tonight. So they're going to call a timeout, does Clinton-Massie, in order to preserve a little bit of time. 2:24 left, 28-0 is your score. Clinton-Massie up, and in Clinton-Massie fashion, just driving ahead.
Definitely. We look at Nolan Phipps there. He's going to be one heck of a player here. He's getting some time as a freshman here. It's only going to help in the long run. We're getting a lot of young guys here getting repped up defensively. And this defense is really starting to come along real well throughout the season. And it'll be nice to see if that trend can continue. Coach Roth really coaches them up, as do all of our coaches do. I know they've worked tirelessly this year, putting in those extra hours to get this right. And Coach Roth's still down there coaching hard.
Absolutely.
And we're up 28-0 with 2:20 to go.
He's always coaching hard.
Yeah.
What he wants to see is preserve that shutout.
Yes.
That means something to these coaches.
To defensive coordinators, absolutely it does.
Yep. So we're going to see if we can get you at halftime. We are going to take just a second and reset all the equipment, hopefully get everything up and running as we want it to for the rest of the game. So stick with us. We might be off the air for just a moment. We will go ahead and hold on here through the rest of these 2 minutes and 24 seconds. We'll give you what we got. And the long pass off the right-hand side is sailed over the head of number 25, Miller. And that's good defense by
Brady. Russell was stride for stride with him.
Right there with him. And Keegan Lamb was going to come over top and possibly lay a little more wood on that because he looked like he was right in line to knock that ball loose in case he had brought it in.
Keegan here's battled injury a little bit tonight, here recently with some shoulder problems, but he looks a little even fresh out there tonight, flying around a little bit, right?
Yeah, I talked to him in the hallway, and I said, hey, Keegan, you ready to go? Yep. And I said, what's the feel for tonight? He said, a lot of energy. He said we had a good week of practice, a lot of excitement's come on, and what he mentioned was that same, we're 0-0 right now. It's league play. Clinton-Massie's defense blitzes and coming through the line with a pick is Miles. No. He's going to call it off. He says he hits the ground. So off the hands of the Goshen receiver, almost into the hands of Miles Fiji. A lot of pressure being put on by Nolan Phipps. Almost got home on that.
Oh, yeah, just one split second, and we would have had a big collision there.
The thing about Phipps as a freshman, he doesn't really have a freshman body, though.
No.
He's a nicer-sized kid. I think they list him at about 190. And as a freshman, obviously, he can take a few extra hits. And we have a lot of athletes that are freshmen that could play with their athleticism, but their body, it's hard to take hits by, when you have a 14-year-old kid getting hit by an 18-year-old young man, it's just totally different.
It is.
So Thompson with the bounce, the bobble. He's going to go down, and it's going to be a turnover on downs, a loss of 9 yards on the bobble. Gavin Hunter stops that from any movement
getting
forward.
A little excitement there. I love it.
Yep.
A lot of excitement here tonight.
I would say Gavin Hunter might be my, kind of dark horse for MVP of the team.
Yeah.
I mean, he's leading the team in tackles, but, he's just that Mr. Consistency. If he needs to come in on offense, he'll do it. If he needs to play lights out on defense, he's done that all year long. And even when they were down by a few scores, he was the guy that was, playing with everything he had, giving hard. And you like to see a kid be successful after he's put the work in. So Clinton-Massie is going to be the benefactor of that bobbled snap on the punt with a short field and about 2 minutes to do it here.
It
looks like
left.
Another pass is going to be
got
offered.
He's
got Brady Russell with the catch, and he's down at the 5-yard line. So puts it up high in order for Brady Russell to get it, brings it down, Brady Russell's got some nice hands. He's a basketball guy. Yeah,
yes,
so
he is.
he's got soft hands there. So on one play, you're going to make up about 30 yards there. So now with just 1:58 on the clock left, you worked off about 6 seconds there. You're down on the 6-yard line ready to score again.
We're throwing the football a little bit tonight.
I love it. Absolutely thrilled for Keegan Lamb. What a great job he's done.
I have to say something to Z when he walks behind me here at halftime.
Split backfield is given to Brody Clutter. He's going to be brought down at this point. You actually want to eat a little time, make sure that there's no opportunity for them to return any offense back to you.
Yeah, we get a score in here. It's the Ohio High School rule, 35, so that clock will be starting to run maybe if they punch it in here. So,
I talked to Coach
get to us to halftime pretty quick.
And I know this is not what he wanted. You know, obviously he doesn't want to be down 28-0 at halftime. He certainly doesn't want to be down 35-0. He was down 23 points at Blanchester and said that he didn't go in and necessarily have to yell and scream at everybody. Keegan Lamb driving his feet forward for another touchdown. Didn't get stopped by the defender at the 2, just drove his feet, head down, pushed forward, and another score. And honestly, at this point, a little bit of just kind of pushing their will onto Goshen.
They definitely are.
Yeah, 35 points down, but possibly after this point after attempt is not where Coach Elkin wanted to be. But he did see after that Blanchester half that didn't go so well, he saw a different team come out in the second half. He was very proud of them coming back out, even down 23, and saying they played one of the best halves of football. So expect them to get another speech, I'm sure, at halftime, and then come out and play a lot better.
Oh, yeah, even with coaching back, sometimes you just can't go in there and go.
Yeah, you can't scream and yell at that point, right?
You can't, because you're going to lose kids then and whatnot. So I like his mentality. I'd like to actually meet this guy a little bit. He sounds like a really good guy.
Well, he's a Finneytown grad, so he's obviously a good coach, nice man, probably a very smart fella,
I love coaches that do it right, you know what I mean? And he seems like a guy that does the right things, man. He gets it. He understands.
We appreciate all of you that are sticking with us as we're experiencing a little technical difficulty at halftime. We're going to reset the equipment, hopefully get everything back up to snuff. But you've got Coach Graves and I here trying to give you as much information as possible. And Corey adjusting to the smaller camera and working his magic. We appreciate that, Corey. He didn't know he was going to have to work so hard tonight. But since we're paying him a ridiculous amount of money, he's earning his keep here this evening. So as our last sponsor goes through, WZAA comes see us this week at the new WZAA 106.9 Destination Outlet Studios. Here are our crew broadcast talk shows and prepare music streams, create commercials, and more. We look forward to seeing you. That's WZAA 106.9, now housed at the Destination Outlet Studios with our friend Rick Phillips.
Put another one in the end zone here, Ian.
Kickoff.
It's going to be a little short this time.
It's going to be high. It's going to be end over end. It's caught by Kilgore. He gets to the 15. He lets his blocker set up, but a nice play, a nice tackle at the 28-yard line, and that looks like that was Brody Green, I believe. Yeah.
I love Brody Green.
Yeah, the Green family, just what a great family, and producing athletes across the board. We appreciate them. We appreciate all of our student, multi-generational, if you will, families. Clinton-Massie has a tendency to not just have one kid or two kids. In fact, I'm looking at Corey Price, who's going to bring 4 to the table at some point. We, out here, we grow corn and we grow kids, apparently. So we appreciate those families. That keep on bringing
I'm still looking for that 7-footer on the basketball side.
Yeah, we haven't got them to produce one of those yet. So, although my son and his wife are both tall, maybe a few years from now we can bring you something. So Cope on the carry, he's going to be brought down pretty quickly. I think they're going to just understand that they want to keep the ball in the hands of the running back and get out of here with a 35-0 deficit. And like you said, if it's 35-0, you don't go in, you don't start screaming and yelling. You say, look, guys, we've got to have a 0-0 mentality and win the second half, because it's about pride. It's about being able to take care of business when we are in games in the second half. And unfortunately, this one is starting to feel like it's a little bit too far for him. So Haley with the pass and the catch.
Here we go.
And he goes across the field. That's our man, Kilgore. I'm telling you.
Still fighting, man. I love
unbelievable athlete. Just a really, really good athlete. He's fast. He's got good hands. He can tackle on defense. That's a young man that stands out in my mind for the Goshen Warriors. The timeout goes to Goshen. They do have a little bit of a juice running, so they're going to take a chance here, maybe go deep with 20 seconds left. 35-0 is your score. So if you're Clinton-Massie, what are you saying to your guys at halftime? You're up 35-0. What's your speech to them?
That's a tough one. I mean, I've been in this spot many a times. Obviously, we want to keep it going. So you know subs and stuff are going to probably start in the second half. But those young guys, the other guys, I shouldn't say young, but the guys that are going to start to come in, they got to keep this momentum going. We don't want to, give it up. Like you mentioned earlier, Coach Rolfe wants that shutout. So there's going to be pressure on some of these guys to come in to keep that up. But, I just think Coach and those guys will be proud of them. They've executed real well this half, and we'll go from there.
Everybody's having a little fun with us because we had to spend so much time on camera. We're getting memes sent to us and different things of that nature.
I need to do did somebody say Collins? Well, I need to do the slide in like he likes to do.
Yeah, there you go. You're Chris Collins with the slide in, absolutely. Yeah, we'll get to that in the second half apparently. So defense back on the field for Clinton-Massie. The Falcons set up in a prevent defense.
Yeah.
So, they're following back deep here, knowing that Goshen's going to go for the long pass with 20 seconds left and down 35-0. It goes to the outside. Miller gets in and steps outside. Very nice job. I mean, that's exactly what you want a 2-minute drill to look like. Ty Phipps pushes him out of bounds, giving him 15 seconds, setting up on the left hash at the 48-yard line. So I don't know the strength. I didn't talk specifically about the arm strength. We did see last week a change at quarterback by Harrison as they started to get down a little bit. They brought in a stronger arm, somebody that could get it down the field. That was Neiman last week for Harrison. So Haley's in the game still. We'll see if he can put it down. See if he can put it down into the end zone here. It looks like the time, he did go out of bounds, so we shouldn't have had the clock running. It looks like they're going to put the time back on the clock there here in just a second. We're getting that technical glitch fixed on the clock here, and while we're doing that, let's talk a little bit about the next week or so that you're going to see in football. So Goshen, after taking on Clinton-Massie this week, will go play Wilmington at home, and that's going to be on the 30th, and Clinton-Massie is going to go to Western Brown. Yes, Western Brown up 6-0 right now against New Richmond, which seems to be that New Richmond must be real. They must be real to be holding them to 6-0.
I've had a chance to look at their stats and whatnot. They got a quarterback right now who's
throwing
the ball really well.
He was good even last year. Yeah, he came in, I believe, as a backup position and was able to move the ball for him last year. So trips right, single receiver to the left. Haley rolls to his right, getting a lot of pressure by Groh. He has to get rid of the ball. The ball's caught and thrown out of bounds. He put that on a dime.
He did.
On a dime to Miller going out. So, I mean, he dropped that right on his numbers. So with 9.1 seconds now, it looks like Goshen, in a prevent defense, obviously, is what Clinton-Massie wants to be. The bend but don't break mentality is completing a couple passes and on a rollout with pressure in his face. I mean, Groh had his hand in his face and threw a nice ball. You see athleticism on the Goshen side, and Coach Elkin had mentioned, he's got some athletes. He needs to get them all stronger as a whole team because he just wants strength to be a focus for everybody. And I want to share a story as we get into the second half. We'll have a little time to do this, hopefully, about a mentality of nutrition that he's taken with all of the players. Haley, the snap, the throw to the right-hand side. This time it's going to go out of bounds, so it's going to eat just a couple seconds off the clock, but they are going to have another opportunity. So Clinton-Massie will set up their defense. It's going to be 3rd and 5. 45-yard line.
Look like that they're trying to at least get to a point to where they can throw one up in the end zone here at the last few seconds left.
Appreciate our friends at Gold Star Chili decking out the press box in order to help us out with a little bit of food. We appreciate free food whenever we can have it. So Gold Star Chili, go see them in Wilmington and support a local business that supports Clinton-Massie local schools. 5 seconds left. Out of bounds goes that pass, but it's caught by, looks like that's Miller again. So he's put 3 of them on this, on Miller and 1 on Kilgore this drive.
Good job. Like you said, you're wearing the bend but don't break defense. You're prevent. Brady Russell's still doing a great job playing the flat coverage there and coming up and making the stick like you need to right here. Just make them line up again.
2.3 seconds left, so it looks like we're going to get another play by the Goshen Warriors. It is 4th down, so if they can get this, it looks like it has to be an end zone pass. They'll run out of time and not be able to reset. 2 receivers to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Haley drops back, lets it fly to the middle of the field. It's going to hit the ground after it hits the hands of the Goshen Warrior receiver. So we're going to go into halftime. 35-0 is your score. And as we reset our cameras here and reset the equipment, We'd ask you to stay with us. We'll have plenty to talk about in the second half. Not only this game that's going to be fun, I'm sure, in the second half, get a few subs in, as you said. We'll talk a little bit to a 2012 Clinton-Massie Falcon that won a state championship. They're being honored at halftime. If we can see the band, that would be great. We'll see if we can get that going for you as soon as possible. And then we'll come